please type any questions that you have in the chat box, and then I'll deal with the questions during the talk at 3. All right, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, whoever said yes, please go on mute. Do not speak during the webinar because it can be a bit distracting. Okay, good. Let's get started then. So, you might recognize this man. His name is Steve Jobs. Okay, please mute. I can hear you. Please mute your microphone. All right, so this is Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs is known for a few things, but one of the things that he is known for is giving presentations. He's probably the only person who's famous for giving presentations. I'm taking out people who are known for public speaking, like Nelson Mandela or Barack Obama, but people who are actually known for giving slide presentations is Steve Jobs. And if you go to Google Images of Steve Jobs slides, this is what you get. You get basically slides with almost nothing on them. So he is the only person who's known for giving presentations, and his slides are so minimal. This is what I think is kind of a big problem with how businesses typically do presentations. They often put too much on the slides. We can take some inspiration from Steve Jobs to keep it minimal. This is how a lot of business presentation slides look. They have a lot of text, and they talk about a lot of things in one slide, whereas if this would be someone else, they would reduce it and have more visual stuff on there. So one of the statistics that I love sharing when I teach PowerPoint is about how the human brain processes images. So as humans, we do process images faster than text. But how much faster do we process it? And often I get people to guess, and people often guess something like 5 times faster or 60 times faster. But actually, the scientific research shows that we process images 60,000 times faster than text. So if you have too much text in your presentation, you're asking your audience to work much harder to get that. Some of the reason, in my opinion, is it's PowerPoint's fault. PowerPoint tell you, click to add text. Why have you not yet added text? What's wrong with you? Add more text. Don't think about pictures, add some text. But really, I think that you shouldn't be looking at adding the text at all. So my first bit of advice is follow PowerPoint's rules. Any given slide should never have more than 15 words. This is a rule that I've been applying myself and explaining to people for the last 3 years. And I do it based on how the human brain processes things. The other rule is you should have a minimum text size of 30. If you have smaller text, then maybe people in the back of the room won't be able to see it. So why bother? So that's point number 1. So an introduction to myself. My name is David Benaim. I am a certified Microsoft Office specialist in PowerPoint, Excel, Word, and Outlook. But my 2 greatest loves are Excel and PowerPoint. Here is a picture of my bookcase. I have read over 50 books on Microsoft Office in the last 5 years, including a lot on data visualization in both mediums. And recently I've stopped reading books and I just watch a ton of movies on YouTube and Vimeo. So I have a nickname called PowerPoint because I give wow PowerPoint. I have trained over 1,000 students on Microsoft Office. I also do consulting in data visualization, in projects on Excel, and also on presentation skills. So I do coaching as well. I coach speakers at an organization called Impact Hub, and I also do coaching for Nerd Night, where we run presentation events every 2 weeks. And I coach probably about 6 people a month on presentation skills there. So what are we covering today for the majority of this? We're talking about speed up tricks. Then we're going to look at finding images, how to fix common issues in PowerPoint, this feature called SmartArt, and then some new features in the recent versions of PowerPoint, and then we'll sum up with a summary. So some speed up tricks. When you speed up, be careful how much you speed up. Okay, so let me exit out of slideshow mode here. All right, can everyone see my normal PowerPoint screen there? Yep. Okay. So here we are with the PowerPoint normal screen. Now, a lot of people are probably familiar with the Format Painter, right? If you click on something, you choose the Format Painter here, and then you can go to another bit of text and take that same format. Now, the Format Painter would be great if it only did that, but almost no one knows how far it goes. And watch this. Let's say that I want to apply this formatting to multiple things of text. I can actually double-click on the Format Painter, and it locks it in. So I can apply it here. I can go here without having to go back and forth. I can even go on another slide and click some text and go back and forth like that as well. So that's double clicking the Format Painter. But you know what? For me, that's still too slow because I want to speed up. You probably are familiar with the keyboard shortcuts for copy and paste. Copy is Ctrl C and paste is Ctrl V. There are actually similar shortcuts for the Format Painter. If we think about what the Format Painter is, it's basically just copying and pasting formats. So to copy the format only, we can select our text and press Ctrl Shift C. So just add on Shift, then go somewhere else, Ctrl Shift V. And that locks it in as well, Ctrl Shift V, here, Ctrl Shift V, and then it locks it in and takes that format along. So yeah, double clicking the Format Painter or using the shortcuts Ctrl Shift C, Ctrl Shift V to paste formats. Now the Format Painter continues because it goes way further than you think. Almost everyone knows you can use it for text, but very few people know you can actually use it for shapes or even pictures. So what's this? I click on my shape, double click the Format Painter, and then click here to paste. And if I double clicked, I can click here and get the formats again. Since this is a text box, I can do it here as well, and to this one. I'm going to press Escape to get out of the locked Format Painter. I'm going to show you I can do that also with images. So with images, here I've applied certain formatting to the image. I've changed the color and applied a frame from this tab. I can click on the Format Painter. I'm going to double click it, click there, click there, click there. Super quick. Again, I can go to another slide and do it as well. press escape or click there to get out of the Format Painter mode. So that is what I'll start off with, some really cool speed up tricks with the Format Painter. So tip number 2, use the Format Painter for words, for more. It works on text, shapes, and images. And if you double click it, you lock it in, or you can use Ctrl Shift C and Ctrl Shift V as the shortcut. All right, let's keep going for some more tips. Now, alignment is super important in PowerPoint because if you have your objects aligned, then people will be focusing on your slides. If you have them not aligned, like this slide here, then your brain is probably trying to align these without listening to me. Your brain is focusing on alignment instead of focusing on the presenter speaking. This is a lot to do with how the human brain interacts with the eye, but it means that your brain capacity is lower if your things are not aligned. So how do we align things super fast? Most people probably know about these red lines that appear, but I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to show you that you can click on these objects, and then you can go to Arrange, Align, and Align Top. So all of these tools are really, really useful. Align Top means they align to the topmost object. Also, you can notice that they have different space. So I can go to Arrange, Align, and Distribute horizontally here. And then I will get the same space between both objects like that. Super fast. I really, really love those tools. If I'm in PowerPoint, I'm using these align tools probably every 3 minutes. I'm using at least one. It is so much faster than manually doing it. So let's do it again. Select here, Arrange, Align, Align Bottom this time, and Arrange and Distribute horizontally, like that. We also might want to select these two. And by the way, in PowerPoint, you can select like this. If you cover the whole object, you can select them both there. Arrange, Align, and Align Left. And here I'll do the same. Arrange, Align, and Align Right, like that. And then I can distribute horizontally and get that even. So there we go. Now they're perfectly aligned. You can do the same with pictures. And again, my tip number 3 is align to save time. Align top. You can do middle as well, like that. And if you have, say, 3 objects vertically, like that, you can go to Arrange, Align, Distribute vertically. Oh, I selected the wrong thing. So it's all about what you select here. So put the first and the bottom one where you want it, and Arrange, Align, and Align, Distribute vertically, and then Align Right, like that. Great. So I really love these ones. Okay, next slide. So that's it. We've covered arranging and shortcuts. Couple more shortcuts since I'm here. So you'll notice that I am going between slideshow mode and non-slideshow at the same very quickly. I'm using that by using the shortcut Shift F5. Shift F5 does slideshow mode from current slide. That is one of my most important shortcuts in PowerPoint. Another one is this one, Control Shift and this symbol. What that does is it makes your text bigger. So select your text, Ctrl Shift and that, and it makes it bigger. You can go super, super fast if you have some small text here. You want to very quickly make it bigger. Use that shortcut many times, make it bigger. Want to go smaller? Use the other side of the arrow. Again, I never ever use this or these two. They are so much slower if you know the shortcut. And that shortcut works in PowerPoint, Word, and Outlook. It does not work in Excel, unfortunately. So in Excel, I still have to use these. But in PowerPoint, in particular, it is essential because you're making things bigger and smaller all the time. All right, good. So let's go to the next section, finding images. There's the cat I normally hire to find my images. Okay, so let's get out of PowerPoint for a second and go into Google. So if I go to a new tab, let's say I want a picture of a tiger, like this. Now you guys probably already know that you can go to images, like this. Google Images, that's not particularly specific. Almost everyone knows Google Images, but from my experience, less than 1% of Google users have ever clicked on the Tools button. I use this every day. It's so good. Watch this. Tools. I can choose lots of features. So let's say I want size to be large so that I always get images that look beautiful on a PowerPoint slide. I can also choose more tools and show sizes, and then I get the size without having to hover on each one. So that's probably my second favorite one. The one that I like the most, though, in a clear, I'm going to show you this on PowerPoint first. The 3 levels of image complexity. So you can have image like this with a background, or images with no background like this, or you can have something that's a very simple thing that looks like a shape like this. These are 3 trains. I'm going to show you this one for now. I'll show you this one later on. So how to get this on Google? It's again within the Google image search tools. Go to Tools, Color, and make it transparent. This is the one I use the most. If you click on an image, it shows up over here. The way you know it's transparent is you get this checkerboard symbol in the background. Right-click and choose Copy Image. This is the fastest way to get an image into PowerPoint. Go to your slide and paste. There you go. So now it's a transparent image, which I think is essential if you have slide backgrounds that are not white. So you get this kind of picture. So other things that I like here, you know, you can choose a color if you want a green tiger. Let's see what this gives. It's a bit ridiculous, right? You can have a green tiger if you want to. You can also go to clear the filter, any color, and then you can choose type to be animated. So you've seen me use a couple of GIFs in my presentation. This is how I get them. Animated, click on it. There you go, it's roaring. Right-click it, copy it, go to your slide and paste. It doesn't show it roaring in this editing view, but if you go to slideshow mode, there, now it's editing. Now you can see it moving. Again, I advise not using too many GIFs because it can distract the audience. Same with video. Only use them between sections, I advise. All right, so that's Google Images, search tools. Final thing, do not use stock photos. if you see a photo that has this kind of watermark, or maybe Getty Images or a name here, that means that you need to pay to get the official photo. Don't put that in your presentation because people will notice it. Some people are thinking, oh, of course I would never do that. Others might be thinking, huh, okay, actually, now that makes sense. So yeah, next tip, Google Images has search tools. If you use Google Images, the main ones that I like are color, and oh, I didn't show you this one, labeled for reuse. So if you want to make sure that you're legally allowed to use a picture, you can go to Tools, Usage Rights, and Labeled for Reuse. This means that you can use these pictures because they're not owned by anyone. You're not breaking the law by using them. It's amazing how it's such an easy tool, pun intended, but very few people have ever clicked on it. Can you read this text? So this might be difficult to read, right? It's a lot better like that. Also, here's another example. You can't really read it when you have a picture background, but it's a lot better like this. I really, really love beautiful full screen picture backgrounds in presentations. I really like people using this feature. However, you do need to probably manipulate it so people can read some text next to it. As part of coming to this, this webinar, you're getting a free present, a free gift from me, which is my PowerPoint slide recipe book. Let me show you that here. So here it is. This is the document. And you can actually reuse a lot of these things in your presentation. The one I'm talking about is this one. So this is a shape that I've already built. Let's say I want to be able to see the elephant picture. I just go here and copy. And I go back here and I paste, Ctrl V. And then I just need to click on this object and send backwards like that. And then you get the text in front. So I have a black one and a white one for white text, and I use these all the time. There is a way to make this shape on your own, but my advice is don't make your own, just reuse mine. Even with me, I use these in every presentation multiple times, and I don't make my own, I just reuse the one from my slide recipe book. There's other things here. There's like this kind of transparent background that also makes for a nice effect on pictures. These puzzle pieces can be a good way to show parts of a whole. So you can reuse these and type over the text. You have a road map that's actually a road, and a lot of other things that I might, that I won't necessarily talk about in detail, but you can have a look at them here. All right, my next tip is use icons instead of text. So I talked about the 3 levels of image image complexity. The most simple one is these icons. Now, these are actually really cool things because PowerPoint treats them as shapes, which means that if I go here, Format, I can completely change the color, completely change the outline, give it a shadow, do all the things I can do with that. So again, this comes in my slide recipe book. So you have, yes, about 650 different icons that I give you. I made these, but I give you guys permission to reuse them in any presentation that you want. And again, they are themed items, hobbies, food, clothes, transport. All you have to do is select what you want, copy, paste it into your presentation, and then you can get the color that you want to add. Now, what makes these are really cool for graphic design. Any graphic designer will tell you how much they love these icons. You can just make them all one color and make the outline one color, and then it just makes for a really neat look. Maybe your color can match the logo of your organization, for example, but you can still have these different icons. I use these all the time. Yeah, and here's the puzzle pieces that I covered already. All right, so let's pause for a bit and take questions. So I've had a couple of questions here. How do I do unlock again for the format painter? So select some things, lock it by double clicking it. If you want to unlock it, you can either just click here once, or you can press the escape button on your keyboard. Can we do all the alignment at the same time? You can only align in a column or a row. So if you have a situation like this, you need to go the whole row and then the other row. You can't just select all 6 and then align them. But it's still pretty fast doing it that way. Okay, I forgot the red simple train, how to find it. So that is in the recipe book that we will send you after the webinar. Can we do alter the picture like the way we do in a Word document? Yes, you have all the same picture editing tools in PowerPoint. Click on the picture and picture tools format, and you can edit it in all these same ways. I think that's what it is. Can you show again for using the icon? So once you get the PowerPoint recipe book, just navigate to the icon you want, copy, paste it into your main presentation, and then change the color as you want using the normal shape tools editing here. Because it's what we call a vector graphic as well, if you make it super big, it's still very, very clear. It doesn't become blurry like when you make a normal picture very big. That's another benefit from it. Okay, how to use background slide sample. I don't quite know that. So if you want to get a full picture in the background of your slide, what I would do is I would just get that picture, copy it, and paste it into a slide. That's how I would get a background. How can I take shape icon? I'm not sure I understand that. Did I create the icons myself? Yes, I did. I created all of them myself using a trick. So I didn't draw them all. I just kind of converted them from another piece of software. What's the purpose of the icons? It allows you to explain lots of points very, very quickly. Yeah, don't have them so much in this presentation, but I use them a lot in presentations because it allows you to customize images and use images to replace text a lot neater than full-on pictures. All right, so that's the end of the questions. Let's go to the next one. So fixing issues. Oh no, a lot of disasters there. So one issue that I always see in PowerPoint is when people get these things wrong. So people will stretch like this. Never, ever, ever use the side handles, these ones. They always make your pictures look ridiculous. Also, in many cases, if you use the diagonal ones, it still goes out of proportion. So instead, what you should do is you should use Shift. Everything is better with Shift. So here is how I would expand it normally, but if I hold the Shift button on my keyboard, it keeps it in line. I use this every time. Same with shapes. If you hold down Shift, it will keep a perfect square or circle. Otherwise, it will not. Next thing, how do I draw a circle in my PowerPoint? You probably know that you can go to the Home tab, choose here, and draw it, but it's not a perfect circle, even if you try like that. How do you get a perfect one? Again, everything is better with Shift. Hold down Shift and draw it. Same with a line. If you want a horizontal line, hold down Shift and it will make it either vertical or horizontal, like that. Whew, didn't make a shift. How do you fix it? Select an image. If it's a picture, go to the Format tab and choose Reset Picture dropdown, Reset Picture and Size. Oh, that one, sorry, that one's not working. It doesn't work if you've compressed the pictures, but I'll show you later. So here it will make it the right proportion. Reset picture and size. There you go. Then you can resize it in the normal way. So I do this for countless people who resize the picture. It always looks bad. It's better to crop than to resize in a bad way. How do you fix a non-perfect square or a line? Click on the square, go to Format, and go to the Size section. Copy the height and paste it into the width. Same height and width means it's a perfect square. Then resize it with Shift held down. How do you fix a line? A horizontal line has a height of 0. So go to Size, tap on 0, press Enter, and you get a perfectly horizontal line. For the line one, I only learned that about 2 years ago. And I never thought about it until someone explained it. And I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense, of course. How do you fix a vertical one? Go to the horizontal type, 0, Enter, and now it's perfectly vertical. Like that. So click and hold better with Shift. Also, Shift is a way to drag and keep in line. So if I drag this, it moves around, but if I hold Shift, it keeps it vertically or horizontally completely in line. In fact, I can't advocate this tip more. If I'm dragging to move something, 80% of the time, I will be holding my Shift key. It makes it so much faster, talking about alignment like we did before. Final thing with pictures, compress your pictures. So if you click on a picture like this, go to Format and Compress Pictures. What this does is it makes your file size much, much smaller. Untick Apply to this picture, and it applies to every picture in your presentation. And I use either email or use default resolution. Click OK. And then every picture will have that, and it will make your file size much smaller. The only thing is, once you do that, you can't reset anymore. That's the main limitation. All right, so you might be wondering how I have this, which is my clickable slide menu. I'll be talking about that at the end. Let's go to SmartArt. It's another really useful speed up feature. So writing things in shapes probably takes a lot of time, and that's how people see this. I really want things to not be in bullet points, but it takes me ages to think about a design and create the shapes, unless you use this SmartArt feature. So select, and then you have in the Home tab, Convert to SmartArt. This is so good. Watch. Hover over things, and PowerPoint will suggest different diagrams. Isn't that cool? If you think that's cool, write wow in the chat box. You think that's cool. I love this. I use it all the time. You can get more SmartArt graphics, You can do it in other types as well, which gets pretty good. Watch how easy this is. Invert to SmartArt, type it here. You can then edit your text here. You can press enter, and you can get the bullet point interface for your output is this nice little diagram. So I can add a new shape here, change settings. Sure, you can do that. Or I can even remove that, delete this shape, and I can go. If you have SmartArt, you get 2 new tabs, Design and Format. In Design, you can change the colors. You can change the style. You can get these 3D ones, although I probably wouldn't use them. You can also change the style there. Some of them work with sub-bullet points as well, like this one. Let's go back to the normal one. So here, if I press enter and then tab, I can type out underneath it like that. I can change this to a timeline. This is probably my favorite, the timeline one. I really like it. How do we go back? So you can either click on Design, convert to text, or Design and convert to shapes, and then we get one grouped shape. We still need to go to Arrange and Ungroup to get individual shapes, but this allows us a lot more flexibility than the regular SmartArt. So very often, I will convert to SmartArt and then convert back to shapes to be more flexible. You know, maybe make this bigger, put this on different sides. You can't really do this with SmartArt normally. All right, so tip number 7, convert text to SmartArt. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the new features here. Oh, there's that GIF again. So PowerPoint goes 3D and 4D. I love this stuff. So in the latest version of PowerPoint, which is Office 365, or these two are available in 2019. These two are not. So what you can do is you can create this zoom feature. So zoom is this that you've seen me do. I can actually go to any one of these in any order that I want and run through that section of slides. This is so good, and I've used it in every single presentation for the last 3 years. And it's very easy to do. All you do is go to Insert, Zoom, and you can choose Summary Zoom. And it kind of creates, allows you to pick which one you want. I'm going to unpick this one. I'm going to go Insert, and it creates a new section with all of my zooms like that. So I use it a lot for that reason. So what Zoom allows you to do is it allows you to, it also gives you that cool effect, right? I love that. So Zoom allows you to go from traditional slideshow mode into slideshow using Zoom, where you can go from slide 1 to slide 2, or to 4, or to 3. So you can jump across or go back into sections in any way you want in a non-linear transaction. The other thing that you've seen between these two slides is the way one morphs into the other one. I love this feature. Again, it's something I use all the time. This is called the Morph Transition. So best use cases for Zoom, which strategy to go. If you're running out of time, you can jump forward, or use it as a table of contents or a summary slide as well. Oh, do you see that? That's Morph again. Love it. Changes the color, moves these around. These are icons, by the way, again. Yeah. Do you see how this is the person that asked, why might you want to use an icon? Do you see how neat this is to put these icons to demonstrate what I'm showing? All right, so let's see Morph in action. All you have to do is right-click and duplicate a slide. Then you move things around. Maybe I'll convert that. I'm going to change this color here. Here I'm going to change a few effects. We'll make it bigger, change the color to this, change the outline to black, and this text, I'm going to give it a background as well. And then I go to the Transitions tab and click on Morph. Watch that. How cool is that? It allows you to go into like storytelling, kind of like I showed here. Here's a story that shows what it was versus what it could be. And the Morph Transition is amazing at that. It actually, it just got more advanced in the last month. So it's still improving, and it's using artificial intelligence to get better. Only available in the newest Office 365 for 2019. 3D objects, so in the Insert tab, you now have 3D models. It's pretty straightforward. You can choose them once you click that. But these are the 3D models. They allow you to rotate them in 3 dimensions. You get new format options with preset things, preset views. And if you use that and use it with Morph, watch how cool this is. Rotating 3D objects. This is why I call 4D, because it's moving with time and it's already 3D. This is so cool. Another feature that just came out, you can go to only Office 365, you go to the slideshow, always use subtitles. I can choose my spoken language English, my subtitles in English. What's this? Starting subtitles. Now it's going to write what I say as I say it. How cool is that? Right? And it's getting it pretty much spot on. It gets even better though. You can choose subtitle settings, spoken language French, subtitle language English. Et maintenant, je vais parler en français et ça va traduire ce que je dis quand je parle. C'est pas mal. Je sais pas s'il y a des gens qui parlent français, qui écoutent, mais ça marche assez bien. This also just got released in Google Slides. So you have all these spoken languages and these 60 subtitle languages. Unfortunately, Khmer is not on there. I really wish it was. However, they decided that it would be better to use other languages, including not one, but 2 versions of certain language. Certain languages have 2 versions in 2 different alphabets. So that can be a little bit confusing as well. All right. So, one more quick feature that I'll show you, also with the new Office 365. I'll do this in a new presentation. So let's say that I have a picture and some text. I can go to Design and choose Design Ideas. And then PowerPoint will give me all these preset design ideas. How cool is that? They're still editable after you choose. But yeah, it's really sophisticated. This is using artificial intelligence. I love it. All right, so the finish line. Oh, they're running. Didn't make it. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. So further resources, capacity specialists. So we have some resources. We're running a PowerPoint training course. I'll tell you about that in a second. Nerd Night, this is an organization that I co-run, and we have a website with lots of tips and tricks in PowerPoint and presentations. I have my own Vimeo channel, and Excel Consulting is the name of the business that I work in. So Vimeo, I'll just show you that quickly. Vimeo. So here I have over 200 different videos, including PowerPoint, 27 videos on PowerPoint, how to use a bunch of things. I have how to use my PowerPoint recipe book. So if you want a full trick of how to use it, how to work with full screen images, how to use live subtitles and translation that I showed you, a few other things, 3D models, Morph, Zoom, a lot of these different features as well. Google Images that I showed you earlier. Yeah. So you can review these. We'll send you a link after the talk. So books that I've learned or video channels, I really like the Nuts and Bolts Speed Training video channel on YouTube. And these two books I really like as well. So summarizing, use Shift for growing images or shapes, draw straight line or circle, and drag and keep in line. Or sorry, move and keep in line. SmartArt, so convert text to shapes in creative ways, fast. Align using the tool and double click Format Painter. Remember also Format Painter can work on images, shapes, as well as text. Images, so compress, use icons, and Google Image, use tools options. Compress pictures, yeah. Make file size smaller with many images. I've seen file size go from 50 megabytes to 3 megabytes in 3 clicks using this. 15, so max words per slide. And 30 minimum font size. Final thoughts with this. Have you ever, most people have never seen me type live in a presentation slide before, like this. I use this all the time. Again, in the PowerPoint recipe book, you have this text box. You can't edit it now, but if you go to slideshow mode, you can edit it. So just copy this and paste it into the presentation of your choice. All right. So finally, we have a session next month, so a 2.5-day training on PowerPoint and presentations, where we cover a lot more stuff. For example, we cover charts and displaying data, how to use video in a lot more detail. Way more speed up tricks. I only gave you about 20% of what I could squeeze into this hour webinar. How to work with text, lots of text tips and tricks, and how to keep the audience engaged. It's half presentation skills and half PowerPoint skills. So lots of tricks from a storytelling expert, Mitzi, who will co-facilitate with me, about keeping the audience engaged and also structuring and strategizing your presentation. See how cool the icons are? I love them. One neat color matches the capacity specialist branding and allows me to talk about it without even any text on the slides. That's Morph again for you. Presentation skills and PowerPoint, these are the dates. So speak to the capacity specialist team to learn more about how you can join this awesome course. Or if you want a training for your organization, we can do that as well, a customized training. Other courses that I teach time management and email management skills, or I teach Excel. And believe it or not, this is a video I made yesterday in Excel, where you can actually click on different interactions and watch these charts change based on that. Cool, eh? So I show this in my course, as well as lots of other Excel training courses. The Excel one is also available in Khmer. And one more thing, Steve Jobs would always end his presentations with, and one more thing, because you don't want to summarize with the next steps. You want to summarize with something that the audience will remember. So one more thing is, how many slides have I used in this presentation? A lot of people think that too many slides is bad, but in this presentation, I have 80 slides. What's this? I'm currently on slide 80, which means that my slides have very little in them, so I go through them so fast. This is a screenshot of some of the slides I've used here. All right, so let's take some final questions, and then we'll do feedback. So there is a link for the feedback that you should have received now, and I'll answer the final questions whilst you're doing the feedback. So yeah, the feedback link should come in the chat window soon. Please, please, please do the feedback. This is a new session that we've just started. Webinars are kind of new to Cambodia, so please fill out the feedback form and try to do it now so we know exactly how you feel at the time of taking it. And finally, if you have any last questions, please type them in the chat box. I'm going to answer a few different ones. So I have when to use a picture background and how to make it trim the slide. So I love a full screen image background. It just makes it very engaging. Maybe with a little text on the slide, on the side of it. I use this all the time. So here is an example with a little text. Yeah, I use them often in my other slide presentations. This one to signify questions. I love use these here. They just look really good. They make the audience focus more on you as a speaker than it. How to make it exactly the right size. Bit of an advanced trick, but I will show you as you asked. So let's say you want this to be an entire background of a slide. You can click on this. You can go to Format, Crop to Shape. Crop to Aspect Ratio, and use 16:9, since this is the slide size of most presentations. And then you need to move it around. Use the Shift key here, otherwise you move it in the wrong direction and you lose the proportion. Shift keeps it in line, like I said before. So adjust it to where you want it to start and end. Click outside and it crops it. Cut, paste to a new slide, and then just make it the full slide background. Like that. I use this tool all the time. It's a bit blurry, so this one I maybe wouldn't use for that purpose, but that's how you can get it to work. If you missed that, I do have videos explaining it on my video channel. Can you explain a bit about the slide master setting? So the slide master setting is actually one of the most complicated things in PowerPoint. It's in the View tab and then Slide Master here. It allows you to create one background for all of your slides. So I won't go into too much detail here, but if I change in my top one, for example, if I change and have red text color, and I go back to my main one, in all of the slides where I've used that, it's made it red up here. So it's a very quick way to change that for all your slides. I can also, if I want to, kind of move this picture in, not that I would want to, but I could, and then it kind of puts that in there. So it's a way to change everything in your presentations in one go. Again, it gets a bit complicated, so I won't go into too much detail. Any final questions? Can we have subtitles if we don't have the internet? No, you are limited to using it only with the internet. Any final questions? Did you guys learn anything in that? Did you, what was your, type in the chat box what your favorite trick was. Align. Oh, someone really likes Align. Another person loves Align. Great. What about 3D? Okay. Again, that's only in Office 365. You can check which version you have by going to the File menu, Count, and then here, if you see Office 365, you have all the new features. If you only see Office 2016, then you don't have all of them. Office 365 updates every month, and I love this. It just released in January the subtitle feature. Last month it released, this month it released new additions to the Morph feature. So it keeps changing and updating and using more and more artificial intelligence every month. Another question was, how do I record the presentation? So again, in the newest version, you can do it within the within certain features. Another thing you can do is an Insert tab. This is another feature I use a lot, but not really for recording my presentations. Click on Screen Recording, and you can do a video of you doing it. So select the area. I can press Record. It has the countdown here. Then it records what I'm saying and what I'm using with my mouse. So this is how I would often use it with recording presentations. Press stop. And here it is. I can replay it. And it records what I'm saying and what I'm using with my mouse. So this is 2016 and more recent. Again, if you go to the tab called Insert, you have Screen Recording. I showed you my Vimeo presentations. So I have over 200 videos. I've recorded all of them using this feature because you can record screens outside of PowerPoint. I can go into my File Explorer, record in the same way, like that. Stop recording, and then it will save that, what I write and what I do. I'll save that in my PowerPoint, like that. From here, I can right-click it and choose Save Media As, and I can save it as a video. So I can export it from PowerPoint into a normal video, like that. Good. Any final questions? All right, so again, we have the course on 14th and 15th of March. So it's coming up. It is 2.5 days where you will learn PowerPoint skills way more than we've covered in an hour. And you will also learn presentation skills, how to engage the audience, how to structure your talk from start to finish, how to overcome stage fright or other fears about presentation. So there are tons of things you will learn in this course. Please feel free to ask us about the course after we finish the webinar. Great. Okay, so that's the end of the webinar. I don't think... Are there any other questions? Someone said my favorite was the Google Images. I love that tool because almost no one knows it exists and it's so simple. Google Image Tools, another one. Shift using images and shapes. Yes, love Shift. If you're interested in that, you can also look at using Control and using Alt. When you drag images, they also have special functions. I cover that in the full course, but not in this short one. Compress images, really useful as well. Morph to use as a table of contents. Yep, that feature is called Zoom, actually, but Office 2019 or Office 365. if you are interested in buying Office 365 for your organization, then we are partners with Microsoft. So you can ask us, send us an email, and we can buy Office 365 for you as well. Amazing. Okay, so I think we can say goodbye. So I can say goodbye. Another excellent. So yeah, we'll leave it off with that. Everyone have an excellent rest of the day, and hopefully see you again at some point soon. Bye, everyone.
See you.